Pendleton here with eMortgage. Welcome back to part 2 of our series on the mortgage process from A to Z on purchasing a home. Today we're going to talk about what happens after you get under contract. You found your dream home, you've signed the contract, now things are getting real. It's time to go to work. People are starting to ask you for money. Hey, we need $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 for an escrow money deposit, a good faith deposit on this contract. So what happens after you get under contract? Well, the first thing that happens is either you or your realtor, you send me an executed copy of that contract. Once I have that executed copy of that contract, I am going to start the disclosure process. We're going to get loan disclosures out to you as quickly as we possibly can. And those disclosures are things like your Equal Credit Opportunity Act. It's going to be a series of different disclosures so you understand the process. I recommend that you read through them. We send those disclosures out to you so you can e-sign them for your convenience. But I'm also happy to sit down with you, go over each loan disclosure one by one, and you can sign them with an actual pen, wet sign them. That's not a problem either. So once you get your loan disclosures, if you do want to sit down and go over them, just schedule time with me and we can get that done. Now, once you've got your loan disclosure signed and that process is going, one of the other things I'm going to send you, I'm going to send you a checklist of all the documentation that I need from you. And on that checklist, it's going to be things like a copy of your driver's license, a month's worth of paycheck stubs, 2 months worth of bank statements, 2 years worth of tax returns, a full month or 2 month worth of your investment accounts, your 401k, your IRAs. I need to see all that. What are some other things? If you have Social Security income, we're going to ask for proof of your Social Security income, your award letter from Social Security. So there's an array of different things that we'll ask for. I'll send you a checklist. And we're also going to start the appraisal process at that point as well. We want to get the appraisal ordered as quickly as we can. Now, with that being said, I typically like to wait until a home inspection is cleared before we order the appraisal. So what's the difference between a home inspection and an appraisal? A home inspector, which is not required by the lender typically, but it's recommended. A home inspection is where they do a detailed inspection of the property, all the systems of the home. A home inspector is going to get up on the roof. He's going to get in your attic. He's going to test your HVAC system. He's going to test your electrical system. He's going to make sure that the house is in great shape, okay? Once you get that inspection back, assuming that you're pleased with it, and you tell me 2 thumbs up, inspection looks good, at that point we're going to order your appraisal. The appraiser is really looking at the aesthetic of the home. They're looking at the value of the home based on comparable sales in the immediate market. We can get into more detail about that in conversation if you have questions, but realistically it's about the aesthetics and the value of the home. So what happens if the property appraises lower than the purchase contract price, which happens, especially in our market these days? I'd say right now it's happening more often than we'd like to see because the market's increasing in value quicker than the property values are keeping up with. So with that being said, let's use an example of a $200,000 contract. If the property appraises for $190,000, we only lend on the $190,000. If it appraises for more, that's okay. You've got built-in equity at the home, and we just base everything off the purchase price. But if it appraises lower, everything now is based on that $190,000. What does that mean for you as a home buyer? Well, typically it means you're going to go back and renegotiate that contract with the seller. You're going to get with your agents, and they're going to go back to the seller and say, listen, you're asking $200,000 appraised for $190,000. Would you be willing to take $190,000 for the house? He may say yes, or she may say no. Depends. With that being said, it starts a negotiation process. Maybe you meet in the middle, you each come up with $5,000, and the deal stays together, and we can work it out. I will tell you more often than not, we're able to get it worked out. Sometimes the realtors help out a little bit, kick in some of their commission. You know, whatever needs to be done, most people are willing to make the deal work because we've all put in a lot of hard work to find you a home and get you through this process. We want to work with you and make sure you're happy at the end. So you may not be. The seller may be stubborn. Sometimes you run into situations where sellers are just really stubborn, and you just have to walk away from the deal, and that happens sometimes as well. So once we have the appraisal in, and we know that the value looks good, things are definitely moving along. We're going at a good pace at that point. Typically, it's 30 days from contract to close. That's your typical contract, okay? Now, understand, while that appraisal process is being done, which takes about 5 to 7 business days, my processing team is in the background doing all the verifications that they need to do. Income, employment, all those verifications are being done, and they're getting that file ready to submit to underwriting. So what does that mean? What does the underwriter do? Typically, from the time we have the loan process, we've got all your income and asset documentation. If we're missing something, the processor will reach out to you and let you know what we need. We gather all that information, we upload it into our system. we submit it to an underwriter. The underwriter at that point is designated by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to approve your loan. Usually takes between 24 to 72 hours. The appraiser reviews it, and typically what they do is they issue what's called a conditional approval. Well, what does that mean? What's conditional approval? It means you're approved on the condition of these specific items. It means the underwriter may want to see an updated bank statement, maybe an updated pay stub. Maybe they are waiting on a verification of employment form to come back from your employer. There's a series of different things. Typically, they're waiting for the appraisal to make sure the value's there. So there's a lot of different things that can come into play there. Usually it's minimal because we do a good job processing the loan up front, but we still have to have that underwriting approval. Next, in video number 3 of the series, we're going to talk about what happens from conditional approval to clear to close or final approval. You'll hear us say clear to close a lot in this industry, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. So I hope that kind of explains the process from contract to conditional approval. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. Once again, Scott Pendleton with eMortgage. Thanks very much and have a great day.